Good morning. Last week we were discussing about the world financial market as well as the Indian financial market. Last week was important as far as the Indian financial market was concerned because the monetary policy was released during that time. I discussed with you the impact of the monetary policy in the Indian stock market as well as the financial market. Now, this week or the week between 10th and 15th, we couldn't see much of a movement whether in the financial market or in the stock market. It's almost flat. Now, today morning, the rupee dollar opened at 74.87. You remember that on Friday it closed at 74.90. Not much of an impact, not much of a difference. And morning, the first 2 hours, first 1 hour of trading, other things, etc., we find that there is a slight strengthening of the rupee. Now, let's see what has happened or what's happening in the world market. In the US, for the first time after the corona impact in March, the number of job seekers data has come down. For the first time, the Americans filing for job has come down below the 1 million this month. Now, the US-China relationship continues to be strained. Mr. Trump was telling that none of the Americans should have any trade pact or any business dealing with the owners of TikTok or WeChat. Now he has gone one step further by saying that after TikTok, he will be pressurizing on other American companies also. In the commodity market, the gold prices, you saw, it reached its peak during July, and the first week of August we saw the gold prices coming down. It reached up to US dollar 2,100 and started falling, mostly because of the profit booking, other things, etc. Now, as far as the oil prices are concerned, the Brent crude is hovering around 45 per barrel. And in the GCC front, the Arab front, we could find that the last week there was a treaty between the UAE and the Israel, which will have serious impact in this region of the country. Now, I am not talking much about the Indian stock market or the currency movement in India because my friend, Mr. Ramesh Krishnan, who will be talking to you after this one, will discuss about that one. But let me just tell you one point. The rupee dollar, as far as the market predictions are concerned, and as per my thinking also, it may be hovering around between 74.75 to 75. That means from the Bahrain investors' point of view, it will be at around 197.20 to 198. This will be the range it may be moving around during this week. And let me introduce my friend, Mr. Ramesh Krishnan, my guru. He was DGM Treasury in State Bank, and after that one he went to Bank of Maldives as the Treasury head over there. He was also the General Manager Treasury in Karur Vysya Bank as well as in Dhanalekshmi Bank. Right now, he is a free consultant for many of the financial companies and a renowned leader in the market segment in the capital market. Thank you.
Hi viewers. 5 minutes to plan for next 5 days. Well, the week that was chose to tread along the technical analyst's view and meet resistance at 11,300, the Nifty, and the week ended with the equity markets registering some minor losses. But the caution needs to stem from the gains being posted by the small cap and mid cap stocks. More than around 40 stocks have gained, and therefore it might be worthwhile to go back to last week's reference about the need for caution when taking blind bets on sectors. Cement was mentioned as a sector where uniformly the stocks have maintained momentum. But last 2 weeks, if you observe the movement of Shree Cements, it has not been able to maintain the momentum and in fact has lost out a bit. This week, another core sector that has performed very well is steel. Beginning from Steel Authority of India Limited, SAIL, which has gained nearly 100% since April. Last week we saw very handsome rallies in Tata Steel and JSW Steel. In fact, Friday JSW was the top gainer, more than 2%. And since April, both these stocks have gained nearly 60%. So, the point we need to be asking ourselves is this concomitant revival or gain being posted in core sectors, steel and cement, a reflection of revival or rebound of physical activity? Well, I would suggest that we need to get this validated with data from the ground regarding movement of physical goods, raw materials and the like. However, generally there has been a cursory dismissal of the hospitality sector as the most negatively affected during this phase. But for example, I am saying Lemon Tree, Indian Hotel, etc. have gained, whereas Oberoi's EIH has been a laggard. And a similar dichotomy you will see in the movement of Apollo Hospitals, which has been consistently gaining, whereas a stock like Aster DM Healthcare, though it has gained from April, last week of course the quarterly result numbers were also not encouraging, but the stock lost out. So let us give more respect to the technical resistance of 11,300 before initiating a fresh move would be my suggestion. The important data during the week was the inflation for the month. The number came at 6.93%, a huge jump from 6.23 during the previous month. And immediately this negativity was reflected in Friday's 10-year benchmark debt auction program of Government of India, where more than 25% of the notified amount devolved on the primary dealers. And the market took a cue and the yields hardened. Resultantly, you would have seen the debt mutual fund NAVs have suffered some erosion. Therefore, again reinforcing what was observed during the last week, this presentation I am saying, for those who have stayed invested in a debt mutual fund fairly longer back, period of time back, it might be worthwhile to consider booking profits. In the commodities segment, gold on expected lines met the retracement at 2100 a dollar and came back to 1860, and slowly it again regained, but definitely not back to 2100. So this can be taken as a short-term resistance. The week ahead, we have the FOMC minutes in US, which may not give much alarms because the long-term view is for stable interest rates there closer to zero. And the housing starts data is there on Tuesday, which could again give some indication about the growth prospects or how resilient is the US economy. As expected, dollar rupee was in 74.75, closer to or less than 75, and RBI was also seen in the market. Therefore, next week ahead, we may again see a range-bound movement for rupee against the dollar between say 74.70 to say 74.90. Anyway, have a very fruitful and interesting week ahead.